Not to be dramatic, but the clothes you wear is a direct reflection of who you are. Because did you know that it only takes 7 seconds for someone to assess whether you're likable, trustworthy, and competent? And within those 7 initial seconds, people form 11 impressions of you, also known as the 7-11 rule. And some researchers even suggest that it only takes a 1/10 of a second to form an opinion about someone. What clothes we wear is an extension of who we are, and it's about so much more than just being stylish or looking fashionable. So if you're following me or clicked on this video, hi by the way, my name is Marie and I'm all about making fashion make sense. And your goal is probably to learn how to dress better and curate a closet that you love so that you can feel stylish, comfortable, and satisfied in your style. But what does it even really mean to have style or to be stylish? I believe that figuring that out and understanding what that looks like for you is the first most important step to achieving whatever it is you want to accomplish with your style. Because simply saying that you want to dress better or you want to be more stylish isn't a solid foundation to build a sustainable style around. And I or any other stylist can give you 1,000 different tips and tricks on how to dress better and recommend clothing items to achieve a certain style or aesthetic that will probably make you look amazing. But it's important to remember that style is subjective, and what I think looks good on you might not be what you actually want to wear. So this video is basically step 0, and we're going to discuss different approaches that mainly has to do with your mindset, and that's going to help you become your own stylist by understanding what your style goals are. We're also going to address why you might be following a ton of different styling tips but still not feeling satisfied in your look, also that you can get a clearer sense of what's holding you back from achieving a style and wardrobe that truly feels like you. So to start off our dressing better journey, we have to throw out all of those preconceived notions of what we think style should look like, because being stylish doesn't have to fit a certain mold. It does not mean that you have to wear blazers, heels, or expensive clothing. Even though we often think of stylish people in bold outfits and following trends, when you develop your own personal style, you are allowed to reinvent what style and being stylish means to you. There are plenty of styling methods and guides that can help you along the way, like Kibbe body types, color season, and body shape analysis. Kibbe, for example, categorizes body types into different archetypes to help you find the most flattering styles for your shape. Then color seasons focus on what colors enhances your natural beauty, while understanding your body shape can guide you in choosing cuts and silhouettes that highlight your best features. But honestly, none of that matters unless you are clear about the goal that you want to achieve with your style. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to stop sharing styling tips, but I also don't want you to follow whatever I say or whatever someone else might say blindly. I feel like that's also part of the problem, because if you don't have your own sense of style first, or at least a little bit of an idea of what resonates with you, simply checking off items from a 5 wardrobes essential list that you found online or following a certain method to a T will just lead to a wardrobe that feels disjointed and inauthentic to who you really are. Because I truly think that style should be a reflection of you and not a copy of someone else's vision. And as I said, style can look completely different from person to person. So for some people, style might mean making bold statements with vibrant colors and unique silhouettes because they really want to stand out and express their creativity. For others, style might mean leaning more towards minimalism and focusing on clean lines and neutral palettes that express sophistication and professionalism. And then there might be another group of people who want to prioritize comfort and functionality and curate a wardrobe that allows them to move freely while still feeling put together. And on top of that, all of these goals can be achieved in different ways through different methods and also through different styles, because there are several different maximalist aesthetics and also several different minimalist aesthetics that all have their own unique flair and unique style. Now, I know that this part might make everything seem a little bit more complicated, but the point that I'm trying to make is literally the title of this section, that style doesn't have to look a certain way. And you need to keep this in mind as we go through the next parts in this video, because I don't want your own intuition about style and what you think looks good be influenced by other people's opinions, not even mine. I want my styling tips to enhance and inspire your unique style, not change it. So I think that finding your own unique style is really all about finding who you are first. Because if you don't know who you are and what you want your style to reflect, any styling tips that I say or anyone else says isn't effectively going to work to improve your style. In theory, you might look good, but if those recommendations don't resonate with your true self, they're just going to feel forced and out of place, and you're just not going to be satisfied with your wardrobe. Now, this can be a pretty hard exercise because it requires more deeper reflections and you're going to have to put in the work. But to make this self-discovery more tangible and also more fun, I personally like to take a step back and think of myself as the main character in a movie or in a TV show. And I'm thinking of myself in third person as if I'm styling somebody else, if that makes sense, because I feel like that helps to make me be more objective. So just how costume designers work to create the perfect wardrobe for their characters, you also have the opportunity to craft a personal style that reflects your unique identity. In costume design, every piece of clothing tells a story. It enhances the character's personality and conveys different aspects of their life, like their interests, hobbies, beliefs, and their social and professional desires. So let's say you were casting yourself in a movie. What character would you be? Are you maybe the hardworking student balancing studies and a part-time job? The professional businesswoman navigating the corporate world? The adventurous creative always exploring new ideas? Or maybe you're that mysterious character who likes to keep things low-key and private? I'm just throwing some random ideas out now, but really take a moment to reflect on what role and what qualities resonates with you, and start with writing down some adjectives that captures your essence, values, and the image that you want to express with your style. And once you have defined your character, think about what wardrobe they would wear. Clothing is really tied to how we see ourselves and our identities. And there's this interesting concept called self-image congruence theory. I'm probably saying that all wrong. Congruence? Anyway, this theory basically says that we feel more comfortable and authentic when our outside appearance matches how we view ourselves on the inside. So when you're dressing like the main character of your own story, you're aligning that external vibe with your true self, making it easier to express who you really are. Costume designers will often draw inspiration from different sources to create the perfect wardrobe, and I would encourage you to create your own mood board, either physically or digitally on Pinterest, for example, because I think that this process of creating a mood board can be really revealing and help you connect so much deeper with your own identity. So start collecting a bunch of pictures that really resonate with you. Really pay attention to colors, textures, and patterns that align with your personality. Think about the different styles that inspire you. Maybe you love vintage aesthetics with a hint of nostalgia, modern chic looks that expresses sophistication, or maybe you like bohemian styles that reflect your free-spirited nature. Your mood board could really feature anything from outfit inspiration, iconic fashion moments, fabrics, interior design, accessories, even images of nature or art that just speaks to you. I also think you should be open to be inspired by things you see around you, so not just things that you find online, and then try to notice the unique aspects that you feel drawn to. For example, are you drawn to earthy tones and natural materials because you love the outdoors? Do bold colors and playful patterns match your personality? Or are sleek minimalist designs a reflection of how organized you are? So pay attention, because all of your likes and dislikes says something about you and your story. Just think about your favorite movie or TV characters, for example. When you see them on screen, how do you perceive them through the clothes that they wear? Let's compare Serena van der Woodsen, Blair Waldorf, and Jenny Humphrey from Gossip Girl. Each of these characters' fashion choices says so much about who they are and their stories. Now, you definitely don't have to go that extreme in real life. Like, even though I'm referencing costume design, I don't want you to wear an actual costume, but I think that looking at these characters can help us get a better understanding of how identity, style, and perception are all connected, and it can also give you some ideas of what different styles represent. So if we start with Serena, her character really embodies that carefree and adventurous spirit. We often see her in flowy dresses, soft fabrics, and eye-catching accessories. Her wardrobe really reflects her personality as a free-spirited socialite, and Serena's outfits often features earthy tones, playful patterns, and a very effortless vibe, making her seem both approachable and fun-loving. She also embraces trends, but she does it very organically, which matches her laid-back attitude. So her style choices tells a story about someone who's confident, easygoing, and adventurous. Now Blair, on the other hand, represents the classic and ambitious character whose style is all about elegance and sophistication. Her tailored dresses, structured blazers, and signature headbands is a reflection of her meticulous personality and also her high standards. Her wardrobe also has rich, bold colors and luxurious fabrics that portrays a sense of authority and confidence, and every piece she wears seems carefully curated, which really showcases her need for control and perfection. Then we have Jenny Humphrey's style, who over the course of the show really illustrates the evolution of personal style as she tries to define her identity. Initially, she leans more towards a youthful and edgy look that's portrayed through quirky patterns and layers, but then as she grows, her style transitions to reflect her ambition and desire to break into the fashion world. Her outfits often mixes punk elements with chic sophistication, which represents her journey of self-discovery and creativity. I also think that Jenny's character is the perfect example of how style is part of your personal narrative. Just as characters evolve throughout a story, your style will also naturally change as you grow and experience new things. So really don't be afraid to update your mood board or your wardrobe to reflect the new chapters in your life. It's literally all part of the journey, and finding your personal style and curating your perfect wardrobe is something that's going to be ever evolving. Now, when you're developing your character, it is super important to remember to be honest about your story and your lifestyle, because two of the biggest mistakes that I see people make when they're developing their personal style is that they're either creating a style for their fantasy self and not their real selves, or they're curating a style that's way out of their comfort zone and building a mood board around looks that they wouldn't feel comfortable wearing in real life. Now, this video is more about the mindset of how to develop a personal style and figuring out what style means to you. But if you want more practical tips of how to develop your personal style, I highly suggest that you watch this video after this one. So now we've talked about these characters, but how do we actually translate all of this into real life? Essentially, how do we mesh identity, style, and perception in a way that makes us feel satisfied and fulfilled with our fashion choices? I can tell you right now that this is one of the biggest challenges that I see for people that are struggling with finding their personal style, because these three elements just don't align, and when they are out of balance, that can lead to frustration and a sense of disconnect in what you wear. Now, you don't have to go overboard and all Blair Waldorf with your style. Just imagine a job meeting, for example. Choosing to wear either a button-up or a graphic t-shirt already communicates so much about you, and choosing to wear that same button-up with either sneakers and jeans, tailored trousers and loafers, or a flowy skirt and Dr. Martens also tells a different story about who you are. So it's not about dressing like Serena or Blair. Remember what I said in the beginning, style does not have to look a certain way. It's about striking that balance between who you are, how you want to be perceived, and the context that you're dressing for, and then make your wardrobe reflect that. Very easy, right? So I think that the best way to start this is to imagine yourself as the main character, which is why I gave you all of those examples earlier. But I also want you to keep in mind that it's not about putting yourself in a box. Just think about Jenny Humphrey, for example. She was kind of all over the place, but that actually matched her personality perfectly, because her inner self and how she wanted to be perceived just wasn't aligned in the first place. And that is what added that creative and explorative vibe to her style. So if you feel like there's a disconnect between who you are and how you want to be perceived, do not worry. You do not have to have everything figured out from the beginning, and there are also other ways to navigate this. One way, for example, is to start by considering your environment and your storyline to build a sustainable wardrobe that's going to suit your lifestyle. So think about all of the different contexts that you'll be dressing for. What are the expectations at your workplace, social gatherings, or any other events? Adapting your style to different situations doesn't have to mean losing your identity. It's all about showcasing different sides of yourself. So really analyze what you spend your time doing the most. And you can do this by keeping track in your notes app for a week or for several weeks or a month even. Track all your activities, work commitments, social events, workouts, leisure time. And by doing this exercise, it's going to give you a better idea of what you'll need your wardrobe and your clothes for. Then try to look for pieces that can easily transition from one context to another. For example, a blazer can work for both business meetings, casual outings, and the weekends. This is where it's good to have the mood board that we talked about earlier so that you can find pieces that matches your unique vibe. And as you build yourself your ideal wardrobe, ask yourself a few key questions about each piece that you want to add. For example, in what context can I see myself wearing this? Does it align with my personal style? And does it say what I want it to say about me? Taking the time to really reflect on these aspects will help you make sure that each and every piece in your wardrobe has a purpose and that every piece will get you one step closer to achieve your dream style. This is also a method that you can apply when you're cleaning out your closet, not just when you're adding things. And I really recommend cleaning out your closet or at least looking it through once a year. Just go through everything and make sure that each piece still align with what you want your personal style to be. Now, I hope that these points have given you a lot to think about and help you get a clearer sense of how you can develop your personal style. But before you dive headfirst into this style journey, let's talk about a few common traps that might slow you down so that you can avoid them. One of the biggest challenges to break out of old bad habits is what we like to call the lizard brain effect. So the lizard brain is basically the most primitive part of our brain, and it handles our basic instinct and survival, like controlling our fight or flight response. And it's mainly driven by impulse and fear rather than rational thinking. So when it comes to shopping and developing your personal style, listening to your lizard brain can easily lead to impulsive decisions. For example, when you see a trendy piece and you feel the need to buy it right away, that's your lizard brain talking, because your lizard brain prioritizes immediate gratification over long-term satisfaction, which can cause you to make fashion choices that doesn't always align with your true style or your wardrobe needs. So I think it's really important to be aware of this and learn how to hit pause before you make a purchase. I know that it's easier said than done, especially with all of this marketing noise around us and sales popping up everywhere, because it's really easy to get swept up in the moment and buy something just because it's on sale or just because everyone is talking about it. But taking that extra moment to consider whether a piece truly fits your style and your needs will make the biggest difference in the long run in curating a wardrobe that you love. Another huge trap that could be slowing you down is ignoring the importance of context. I touched on this a few times in the video, but I want to really stress the importance of creating a style for your real self and not for your fantasy self, especially because I made so many references to being the main character. I know that all that sounds fun and exciting, but it's really important to remember that your daily life and the environments that you find yourself in really requires practical fashion choices. For example, you can still be the main character and dress like Bella Swan in Twilight. Like, not all outfits need to be super out of the box. And I think that Bella's style is the perfect example of how understated fashion choices can reflect a really complex character. Her looks often feature simple, relatable pieces, and these outfits not only suit her laid-back personality, but it also really matches the context that she's dressing for. So no matter if you want to blend in or you want to stand out, please make sure that you're curating a closet that you would actually wear in real life. Then lastly, another trap is underestimating your own evolution. It's really important to understand that your personal style will naturally change and evolve over time. If you put too much pressure on yourself to find that perfect style right away, you're just going to end up feeling frustrated and disappointed. Trust me. Instead, think of your personal style as an ongoing journey and allow yourself to experiment with different looks, and most importantly, allow yourself to make mistakes. It's all part of the process. To give you some reassurance, if you've been looking at me and thinking that I have it all figured out, that is not the case at all. I'm actually entering a huge new chapter in my life because I'm getting married next year, and after that I might become a mom, Who knows? And all of these things are going to influence my style as I move forward. I might have different priorities, different contexts that I need to be dressing for, and also my style preferences might simply just change. I feel like I'm already sensing a shift in my fashion taste, so I think it's essential to make peace with the fact that your style is never going to feel fully complete or fully done. And honestly, if it did, what would be the fun in that? I hope that you found this video helpful, and if you did, please let me know by liking, commenting, and subscribing. That really helps me out a lot and I appreciate it greatly. Don't forget to follow me on my other socials linked in the description box if you want more daily fashion content. I also recently launched my Substack where I will dive deeper into fashion topics and self-reflection beyond just quick and easy styling tips. So if you've enjoyed this video and you love reading about style, make sure to check that out. I really hope to see you there or here in the next video. Bye!